The throne room was silent, cold. A giant screen floated in front of the Galactic King. On it was a single face, a young woman with dark eyes and a calm expression. Name Alara. Age 24. Species human. Crime unknown. Threat level high. The king narrowed his eyes. She's just one girl, he said slowly. Why does she mark as high threat? His advisor, a pale, thin alien named Cyrix, stepped forward. We'll know, Your Highness. The system flagged her automatically after a deep scan. Her records are locked. Even our top code breakers failed to open them. The king stared at Alara's face. She looked harmless, just another colony girl. But something in his gut told him otherwise. Where is she now? He asked. Living quietly on Colony V-17. She works at a farming station. No signs of weapons, no rebellion ties, nothing. Then why does she scare the system? The king asked again. Cyrix hesitated. It's not fear, my king. The system recognized something. Deep code. Old code. The king stood slowly. His golden robe dragged across the floor. He turned to the guards. Send bounty hunters. Don't capture. Kill her. Quietly. No trial. But. No questions, the king said. His voice was calm. Cold. Final. Marker for death. Far away, on Colony V-17, Alara was planting small glowing crops in the red soil. The two suns were hot above her head. She wiped sweat from her forehead and smiled. It was quiet here, peaceful. She liked it this way. Alara lived in a small metal home with solar panels and a broken comm screen. She had no friends, no family, just a simple life. People in town thought she was shy, quiet, a bit strange. But she was kind, always helpful. No one suspected anything. That night, she sat by the window, watching the stars. She always felt drawn to them, like something up there was waiting. She didn't know her face was now marked in red across every bounty hunter network in the galaxy. 3 bounty hunters landed on Colony V-17 the next day. Their ship was black, silent, and carried no flags. Inside, they checked her scan. Target: Alara. Location: Sector 4. Threat level: high. Just a farmer? One of them laughed. She's marked by the king himself, said another. That means danger. Or politics, said the third. We shoot, we get paid. That's all. Alara woke with a strange feeling. Her skin was cold. Her heart beat faster. Something was coming. She didn't know why she felt it, but it was clear, like a whisper in her mind. Run. A shadow passed by her window. Then another. She grabbed her boots and slipped out the back door. No bag. No food, just instinct. She ran through the dark forest behind her home, breathing hard. The moonlight helped her see the path. Then, laser fire behind her. The ground near her foot exploded. They were here. Alara dove behind a rock, gasping. She picked up a small stone, shaking, and threw it. It hit a tree. The bounty hunters turned. She ran again. One of them shouted, "She's faster than she looks." Another raised a scanner. What the? My tracker's dead. System glitch. It's her, the third whispered. She's messing with our tech. What do you mean? She's not normal. Alara hid inside a small cave she once found as a child. Her breaths were sharp. Her hands trembled. Suddenly, one of the bounty hunters stood at the entrance. She froze. He pointed his weapon at her, but he didn't shoot. He stared at her, eyes wide. You? It's you? Alara didn't understand. What do you mean? He lowered his weapon. They said you were a girl, just a girl, but now I see your eyes. What about my eyes? They're not normal, he whispered. You shouldn't exist. What are you talking about? He stepped back, still staring at her face. Then something hit him from behind. Another bounty hunter. Don't talk to her, fool. The second one shouted. She's the target. The dying man looked at Alara one last time and said, You're more than you know. Then he died. Alara was frozen, shaking, confused, afraid. What did he mean? Why was she a target? And what did he see in her eyes? She didn't have answers. Only one thought filled her mind now. Run and find the truth. Alara didn't stop running. Her legs were sore. Her throat was dry. But she ran through the forest like her life depended on it, because it did. She didn't know why they wanted her dead. She had never broken a law. She didn't even own a weapon. But something had changed. The look in the bounty hunter's eyes before he died, it haunted her. You're more than you know. You shouldn't exist. What did that mean? She had no family. No past she could remember before the age of 9. She had always thought she was just an orphan from a war-torn planet. Now she wasn't sure. A drone buzzed above the trees. Alara dropped flat into the tall grass. The drone passed overhead, then suddenly glitched. It twitched in the air, spun in circles, and crashed into the ground with a hard crack. Alara sat up, stunned. "I didn't do anything," she whispered. "I didn't touch it." But deep inside, something felt different, like something had responded to her fear. Back at the crash site, the remaining 2 bounty hunters argued. "She took out our drone. Did you see that? No weapon, just dropped it out of the sky." "That wasn't her. That was a system error." "No, idiot. That's why she's marked. She's dangerous. We should leave. She's not worth it." "We leave, and the king kills us." Silence. "Fine. We finished the job." Alara made her way to the canyon trails. This was the one place she might lose them. The rocks were tall, and many paths twisted in every direction. She remembered hiking here as a child. She used to pretend that canyons were secret tunnels to other worlds. Now they were her only chance. Her steps echoed as she ran deeper. She reached a narrow pass and stopped to rest, leaning against a cool stone wall. Then something strange happened. The wall behind her hummed. She turned around slowly. There was a hidden crack in the stone, just wide enough to slip through. A place she had never seen before. She didn't think, she just moved. Inside was dark and quiet. The air smelled old, dry. She followed a narrow tunnel until she reached a small underground room. A dead power cord glowed dimly in one corner. Rusty crates lined the walls. She looked around and found a metal box. It was heavy, locked, and covered in dust. A name was written on it. Project Helix. Subject, Alara. She stepped back in shock. Her name. Her real name. The box had a small screen. It blinked once, then flickered to life. A man's face appeared, gray hair, tired eyes, a recording. "Hello, Alara," he said. "If you're watching this, then they found you. I'm sorry. We tried to hide you. But you were always meant to be more." Alara stared at the screen, frozen. "You are part of Project Helix," the man continued. "A secret program designed to protect humanity's future. You were born, not like others. You were built, improved." Alara shook her head. "No, that's not true." "You have power inside you, Alara," the message said. "But it's only the beginning." Then the screen went black. Alara backed away from the box, her breathing fast. She wasn't just a normal girl. She was made. For something. But what? A noise came from outside the tunnel. Boots. Voices. The hunters were getting close. Alara looked at her hands. They were shaking. "Come on," she whispered. "Do something. Do anything." Another drone flew overhead. She raised her hand, not knowing why. The drone paused. Then it sparked, wobbled, and exploded in midair. Alara gasped, her heart raced. She had done that. She felt it this time. Like a switch inside her mind had flipped. The power wasn't outside. It was in her. The bounty hunters rushed into the canyon. "She's here." Split up. They ran in different directions, weapons ready. Alara stayed hidden behind a rock, her eyes glowing faintly, just for a second. When one of the hunters passed near her, his scanner went dead. He looked at the screen, another glitch. Then his weapon shut down. Then his boots froze. "What? I can't move." He collapsed as the tech inside his armor failed completely. Alara stepped out slowly. The hunter looked up, terrified. "What are you?" Alara didn't answer. Because the truth was, she didn't know yet. She turned and ran deeper into the canyon, the other hunter shouting behind her. But this time, she didn't run just to escape. She ran to find out who she really was, and why the Galactic King wanted her dead. Alara sat in the deep canyon cave, staring at the black screen of the metal box. The name still burned in her mind. Project Helix, subject, Alara. She was not just a girl. She was made. But made for what? The small screen on the box flickered again. A message appeared. Access restricted. Genetic signature required. Alara placed her hand on the screen. It glowed blue, scanned her palm, then clicked. Access granted. A soft hiss escaped as the box opened. Inside was a data crystal, sealed in protected glass. She picked it up carefully. It felt warm, like it was alive. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the entrance of the cave. "There she is." Alara turned fast. One of the bounty hunters had found her. The big one, Varen. He held a plasma rifle in his hand. He looked angry and scared. "You're worth more than we thought," he growled. "The king offered extra to bring you back alive." Alara backed away slowly, the crystal still in her hand. "I'm not going with you." "You don't have a choice." The screen beside her crackled again. Another file opened. File in NAME, Power Lock Release Protocol, Level 1. The words meant nothing to her until her body reacted. Her heartbeat slowed. Her eyes brightened. Her skin shimmered for a second, like light was passing through her. Varen noticed. He stepped back. "What that want you?" Alara didn't answer. The air around her grew heavy. Electricity sparked in the cave walls. The data crystal pulsed in her hand, sensing with her body. Varen fired, but the bolt stopped midair. Frozen. Suspended. Alara raised her hand slowly. The energy bolt bent, then shot backward, straight into Varen's chest. He flew backward and crashed into the canyon wall. Unmoving. Alara dropped to her knees, gasping. Her mind spun. She didn't know how she'd done that, but she knew one thing now. She was dangerous. And powerful. The crystal blinked again. Power Lock Level 1. Yon Analog CKD. Remaining, Levels 2, 3, 4. There were more levels. Her full power wasn't even active yet. Alara wrapped the crystal in cloth and stuffed it in her bag. She couldn't stay here. The third bounty hunter might still be out there. She climbed out of the canyon quietly, staying low, moving fast. The stars were starting to rise in the night sky. She remembered something the old man in the video had said. "You were made to protect humanity's future." She didn't understand. What danger was coming? What had the king seen in her that made him want her dead? Why now? Alara reached an old road that led to a long-abandoned science base in the hills. She had passed it years ago on a supply run. No one lived there now. But maybe she could find answers there. She ran quietly across the rocky plain. The wind blew dust into the air. Her legs ached. Her head pounded. But she didn't stop. She had to know. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, inside the royal palace of the Galactic King, a tall figure stood in a dark hall, watching a large screen. A red dot blinked on a star map. She accessed the Helix file, the man said. The king turned his head slowly. His face was pale, his eyes cold. "Then we are out of time." "She's unlocking her power faster than expected." "Send the Black Command," the king ordered. "Kill everyone she speaks to. Erase everything. She must not learn the truth. And if she reaches phase 2. The king turned away. "Then this galaxy will burn." Alara reached the entrance of the old science base. Its doors were half buried in dirt and rubble. She cleared them slowly, then pressed her hand to the panel. Nothing happened. She tried again, this time with the crystal. The door blinked, then opened. Inside was dark, cold, silent. She walked through broken labs and shattered glass, past long dead machines and fallen lights. Then she saw it, a wall covered in faded photos. Scientists. Children. And in the middle, herself. A young girl with silver eyes, smiling. Under the photo, a line of text. Helix Sub-G CT number 7, Alara, Human Evolution, Prototype Stage. Her knees weakened. She touched the photo gently. She was part of something. Something big. Then she saw another message carved into the wall, scratched by hand. "They lied to us. The king knows. Run if you read this." A crash echoed in the hallway behind her. Footsteps. Someone else had arrived. Not a bounty hunter. Worse, they wore black armor. No voice, no light, no mercy. The Black Command had found her. And now, they were closing in. Alara stood frozen in the dark hallway. She could hear footsteps, heavy, slow, and close. The Black Command had entered the base. These were not bounty hunters. They were royal assassins, silent, trained, deadly. Created only for one thing, kill without question. Alara backed away, gripping the data crystal tightly in her hand. She ducked into a broken lab room, breathing fast and quiet. The walls were cracked. Glass was everywhere. She hid behind an old metal table, trying to calm her shaking hands. The Black Command moved without speaking. No words, no light, only death. A red scanner beam passed through the hallway. Alara held her breath. The scanner paused, then moved on. But she knew they would find her soon. She looked around the lab. Something here, something old, had to help. Her eyes landed on a small device, a wristband with faded wires. It looked broken. but it had the same symbol she saw on the Helix file. DNA sync lock. She grabbed it and slid it on her wrist. The device beeped once, then scanned her. Helix subject confirmed. Stealth protocol activated. Suddenly, her body shimmered and vanished. Not completely, but enough. The black command entered the lab. Alara could see them now, 3 of them. Tall, armored in black from head to toe, like shadows wearing metal. They moved slowly, scanning the room. One of them stopped just a few feet from her. He turned his helmet, looking straight at her hiding spot. Alara didn't move, not even a breath. The stealth field held, but it was weak. The device was old. She could feel the heat rising. If it failed, she'd be dead in seconds. The black soldier turned away. He tapped his wrist. Room clear, no life signs. They walked out. Alara waited 5 more seconds, then finally exhaled. She stood up slowly and looked down at the device. Its screen blinked red. Power low. Stealth failing in 60 seconds. She had to run. Now? Alara sprinted through the dark hallways of the base. The old walls echoed every step. She needed to find a way out or a way to fight back. But how do you fight soldiers who feel nothing, who kill without fear? She found an old elevator shaft. The door was open. The lift was gone. Only a long, dark tunnel remained. She climbed down the metal rungs fast, just as the stealth field dropped. Her body reappeared, glowing faintly with energy. She reached the bottom and entered the sublevel. The air was cold. The lights barely worked. But this place felt different. It was a control room. Still powered. Still active. And on the central screen, a message was waiting. Helix subject Alara, welcome back. A soft female voice spoke from hidden speakers. Do not be afraid. I am Echo 9, your lab assistant I. Alara stepped closer. What am I? You were made to protect what others destroyed. Echo 9 said gently. You are human, and more. Why did the king try to kill me? Because he fears you, the voice replied. He fears what you might remember. Remember what? The eye paused. Your past and your power. The room's walls shifted. A projector activated. Images appeared. Memories, maybe. Alara saw herself as a child. In a lab. Laughing with scientists. She saw war. Burning skies, broken cities, alien fleets. She saw herself standing alone, stopping ships with her bare hands. She was not a weapon. She was a shield. Then the AI showed one last image. A map. A hidden location far beyond the current system. Helix Core Facility, location, Red Sector X9. That's where you were born, the AI said, and where the final truth waits. Alara's heart pounded. I have to go there. You are not ready yet, the voice said. The second lock must be opened. A panel on the wall opened, revealing a second crystal, slightly larger. Phase 2, power unlock available. Alara took the crystal and pressed it to her chest. Pain shot through her body. Her eyes turned bright silver. Her mind exploded with visions, light, stars, machines, and war. Phase 2, unlocked. Current power, 35%. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Black Command had found the lower level. They were coming. But this time, Alara wasn't running. She turned toward the elevator shaft, power pulsing in her hands. No more hiding. If they wanted to fight, she would give them one. Alara waited in silence. The hallway lights flickered above her, casting long shadows on the walls. She could hear them. 3 Black Command soldiers were coming down the elevator shaft. No fear. No hesitation. They were machines in human form, built only to hunt and kill. But this time, she wasn't the same girl who had run before. Now she had power flowing inside her. Not full power, but enough. 35%. Enough to stand and fight. The elevator door opened with a hiss. The first Black Command soldier stepped out, scanning the room with red eyes glowing behind his helmet. Alara stood in the center of the room, calm, still, hands by her side. The soldier raised his weapon. Surrender. Alara looked straight at him. No. He fired. A blast of plasma shot toward her chest, but it never reached her. A silver field of energy burst around her body, catching the shot midair and burning it out. The soldier took a step back. Power confirmed. Level 2 subject, engage with full force. The other 2 soldiers jumped in. All 3 attacked at once. Fast. Deadly. But Alara was faster now. She moved like lightning, her hands glowing with energy. She ducked under one strike, then punched forward. Her fist hit the chest of one soldier, and the armor cracked like glass. He flew back, hit the wall, and didn't move again. The second came in from the side. He swung a blade. She dodged and sent a blast of energy through her palm, straight to his head. The helmet exploded in sparks. The third soldier circled her, analyzing her movements. "You are still incomplete," he said. "You cannot win." Alara narrowed her eyes. "I don't need to win." She raised both hands and slammed them into the ground. A shockwave of silver energy rushed across the floor, throwing the last soldier across the hallway. He hit the wall and dropped. Silence. The fight was over in seconds. Alara stood, breathing heavy, energy fading from her hands. She looked at the broken soldiers around her. The king had sent his best killers. They were now scrap. The AI voice spoke again from the control room speakers. "You used too much power. Your core needs to recharge." Alara nodded. "I don't care. I'm done running." "Your body cannot hold more energy without completing Phase 3. "Then tell me where." The AI displayed a new map. A hidden escape tunnel under the lab. It would take her to an old transport ship buried deep below. That ship could reach the red sector. It could take her to the Helix core facility, the place where all her answers waited. She followed the tunnel. It was cold and dark. Dust covered everything. No one had walked here in years. But she didn't stop. She had come too far to turn back. After 30 minutes of walking, she found it. An old, rusted spacecraft. It was small, made for one person. It looked dead. But when she stepped inside, the controls lit up. The ship knew her. "Welcome, Helix Subject 13. Flight ready. Destination, core facility." The engines rumbled to life. Alara sat down in the pilot's seat and held the controls. Above her, the ceiling opened. Rocks moved. Metal plates shifted. And for the first time in years, the small ship rose into the sky. She looked down as the old lab disappeared beneath her. Then she looked ahead, toward the stars. The king had tried to erase her, tried to bury the truth. But now she was going to find it. Far above, in the Galactic Palace, the king sat in his throne room. A dark figure stood before him, one of the royal spies. "Your Majesty," she escaped. The king's eyes narrowed. "Send the dread ships," he said coldly. "But sire, that's overkill. That class is for planet destruction." The king leaned forward. "Send them all." As Alara's ship entered deep space, warning lights blinked on her screen. Dozens of ships. Coming from all directions. Incoming fleet detected. Dread-class vessels. Alara stared at the red screen. So many. Too many. Her small ship couldn't outrun them. And she didn't have the power to fight again. But then something strange happened. A soft blue light blinked on her screen. Helix beacon detected. Allies nearby. 3 ships uncloaked beside her. Sleek, deadly, human design. But she didn't recognize them. Her ship received a message. "Helix Subject 13. We've been waiting. You're not alone." Alara smiled. The king had started a war. But he didn't know what he was really up against. She wasn't the only one. She was just the first. The 3 ships flew beside Alara in perfect formation. Their black hulls shimmered like glass in the starlight. No flags, no ID codes, no known models in the galactic records. And yet, they moved with the confidence of war machines. Inside her small ship, Alara sat in silence. "Who are they?" she whispered. The eye inside her ship answered calmly. "Helix-class vessels, Generation Omega. Hidden from galactic records, all records deleted after the king ordered project termination. They're like me. They are survivors, like you." One of the ships sent a direct message. "Subject 13, dock with us. Time is short." Alara nodded. Her ship adjusted course, connecting with the lead vessel through a docking ring. The hatch opened, and Alara stepped into a world that was supposed to be destroyed. The inside of the ship was bright and smooth. Silver walls, no sharp corners, everything clean, quiet, and alive with energy. 2 people stood waiting for her. A young man and a woman, both calm, both wearing light armor that pulsed with soft blue light. The man smiled. "Welcome back. I'm Kale. This is Drea. We're like you." Alara stared at them. "You're Helix?" Kale nodded. "We're the last generation. Helix units were created in secret, trained in silence, and then hunted by the king when he got scared. Dryas stepped forward. He tried to wipe us out. Most of us died, but a few went dark, waiting for the right signal. Alara looked confused. Why me? Why now? Kel's eyes narrowed. Because you woke up. And once the king saw you were still alive, he panicked. Drea tapped a screen, showing a map of the galaxy. Red lines crossed space. These are the king's dread ships. They've been moving since the moment you left the lab. Alara pointed at the center. That's where I'm going. The Helix core facility. I need answers. I need my full power. Kale looked serious. You'll get it, but you can't go alone. He turned toward the window. Outside, more ships appeared, one by one, uncloaking around them. 10, 20, 50. A whole fleet. Hidden for years. All Helix class. Alara's heart raced. She had spent her whole life thinking she was alone. Now, she was surrounded by others like her. Are they all like me? She asked. Dryas smiled. Not exactly. Each Helix unit is different. Some focus on speed, others on power, some on stealth. You were made to lead. What? Kale nodded. You were Subject 13, the last build, the most advanced, the one with the king's DNA trace. You're the key. Alara's mind raced. The king's DNA? Was that why he feared her so much? Was she connected to him somehow? Drea touched her shoulder gently. You're not his. You're humanity's last weapon. He tried to erase you because you were the only one who could challenge him. Kale added, that's why we waited. That's why we followed the signal. You waking up was the start. Suddenly, alarms rang across the ship. Red lights flashed. Incoming. 12 Dread-class ships. Fast approach. Kale looked at Alara. This is it. They found us. Do we run? Alara asked. No, Drea said with fire in her voice. We show them what happens when you push Helix too far. Kale turned to the command console. All ships form war pattern. Protect Subject 13's path. She's going to the core. Alara stepped into the command center. The screen lit up with the view ahead. Massive dreadnoughts, dark, sharp, and burning toward them with rage. Each one could wipe out a planet. Alara clenched her fists. She wasn't running. Not anymore. Outside the window, the Helix fleet moved as one. Smooth. Precise. Deadly. They had waited for years. Now, they were ready to strike. Kale looked at her. You lead us. Alara paused, her voice calm but powerful. Then listen well. Target the weak points. Move fast. Don't stop. We're not here to survive. We're here to finish this. The battle started like thunder. Lasers cut through space. Explosions shook the darkness. One Helix ship dove through the fire, slamming into a dreadnought's engine. Another flew under, dropping smart mines that sliced through hulls. Alara's ship stayed close to Cal's. Her path was clear. Her goal was simple. Reach the Helix core, unlock everything. And this war? Oh, the king was watching. Back on the palace ship, the king stood in front of a giant hologram. The battle was unfolding in real time. She's not alone, he said softly. She was never meant to be, replied an old voice behind him. The king turned. An old advisor stepped forward. You made a mistake, my king. You created the monster, and now she's waking up. The king clenched his fists. Then burn the galaxy if you must, but destroy her before she reaches the core. But it might already be too late. Alara's ship had just entered the outer orbit of a dark, dead moon. And buried deep under its surface was the Helix core facility, waiting to awaken, waiting for her. Alara's ship broke through the moon's thin atmosphere and landed with a soft thud on cracked metal plates. The surface was cold and lifeless. No wind, no sound. Only the echo of distant, dying machinery beneath her feet. She stepped out, clutching the data crystals to her chest. Behind her, the Helix fleet formed a protective ring in orbit. Ahead, a massive door loomed, etched with the old Helix symbol and riddled with time's scars. Welcome, Subject 13, a calm voice echoed in her helmet. It was Echo 9, the AI. This is the core. Alara took a steady breath and placed both crystals into slots beside the door. They glowed and clicked into place. Gears turned. The door rumbled open, revealing a wide chamber bathed in pale blue light. Rows of cylindrical pods lined the walls. Inside each pod lay a human form, millions of tiny data streams flickering around them. These were the original test subjects, the ones she never knew. At the chamber's center stood a tall crystal pillar. It pulsed with energy, like a heartbeat in the silence. "That pillar is the core," Echo 9 said. "It holds the full Helix code and your true purpose." Alara walked slowly toward it, each step echoing on the metal floor. She felt power humming through her veins. It was more than 35% now. Her final phase was ready. Suddenly, a voice boomed behind her. "You've come far, but not far enough." She whirled around. A dark figure stood in the doorway. The Galactic King himself, clad in black armor that crackled with stolen energy. His eyes locked onto hers. "You were not supposed to exist," he said softly. "I created that code. I owned it, and yet you survived." Alara's heart pounded, but her voice was steady. "You feared me. You tried to kill me. But you forgot one thing." She touched the crystals on her chest. Light spilled outward, bathing the king in silver glow. "I'm not yours." The king smiled, a sad, angry curl of his lip. "We share blood, child. You carry my DNA, but you also carry humanity's future." He raised his hand, and dark tendrils of energy shot toward her. Alara raised her hands to meet them, and their powers clashed in midair, crackling like thunder. They pushed and pulled. The chamber trembled. Pods cracked. Energy burst from the core pillar. "No," the king roared. "I will control you again." Alara felt herself slipping. His power was immense. But she remembered her journey, the farm colony, the hidden files, the secret fleet. She remembered every person she saved and every friend she made. "Unite your weapon," she said, eyes shining, on her shield. She thrust her palms forward. A wave of pure silver energy erupted, sending the king skidding across the floor. He slammed into a pod and crashed to his knees. Alara walked to the core pillar. She placed her hand on its surface. "Unlock Phase 3, she whispered. The pillar pulsed faster. Light flooded the room. Crystals of the pods shattered. All the Helix units in stasis awoke at once. Their data streams coalesced into living energy that swirled around Alara like a storm. The king struggled to rise. He reached for her, but the storm of Helix energy lifted him off his feet. "No!" he screamed. Alara closed her eyes and let the energy flow through her. She saw every memory stored in the pillar. The war that destroyed Earth, the scientists who tried to save humanity, the betrayal that led to the Helix Project's termination. She saw her own birth, part human, part machine, part impossible hope. When she opened her eyes, they glowed bright silver. Phase 3. Unlocked. Power, 100%, Echo 9 announced. With a calm breath, Alara reached out and touched the king's chest. A gentle pulse of energy passed from her to him, erasing the stolen code in his blood. The dark armor around him cracked and fell away. He collapsed, tears in his eyes, free of the power that once corrupted him. "You were my greatest creation," he said softly, "and my greatest mistake." Alara knelt beside him. "I forgive you." She turned to the newly awakened Helix units. Thousands of figures stepped from their pods, each free at last. They bowed to her, then turned and walked toward the doors, ready to join the galaxy they were born to protect. Outside, the Helix fleet uncloaked over the moon. They sent a signal, a beacon of peace and warning. Back on Colony V-17, people watched the sky in wonder. A new dawn had come. Alara stood alone in the core chamber, the king at her side. She reached out, and he took her hand. Together, they looked at the pillar as it dimmed. "The future is ours to write," she said. "Together," he agreed. And so the galaxy found hope in the weapon they never meant to build, a weapon who was never meant to exist. The end.